We didn't. We're starting in Beis with Beis a lot. Omer Rav Amram, Omer Rav Chizol. Just go through it quickly. We'll review a little bit because we did some of it, but we got stuck in the middle of the sugya. It was time to go. So Omer Rav Amram, Omer Rav Chizdo, Jerusalem Chatul Unemia. So we're talking about the clawing of a cat. If a cat claws an animal, and I mentioned that it's kedai to mention again. The Gemara understands that clawing it by itself, there's a venom that goes into the animal, and we were learning maybe it's not really venom. Venom, it's more like poison. Poison would be the right word. What? Bacteria. Now, as pointed out.
Everyone should join YouTube. Don't forget.
Subscribe. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Subscribe to YouTube. Very good. There's a bunch of people that watch. There's like 40 people that watch. Out of the 40, 20 the other day, 20 out of the 40 were not subscribed. It's a big problem. Big problem. Some don't have accounts, Pasha. It's good.
It's a bit like doing ArtScroll pictures without giving credit.
Right. Okay. Okay. So, anyways, again, our sugi is discussing animals attacking other animals with their claws. The Gemara understands that the claw has poison in it. It would almost seem like from the Gemara that the poison is almost like a venom. There's a system in the body of the animal that it, like a snake, that the venom comes out. We know today, the way the animals are today, they don't have venom in their claws. So the best shot would be that they have a bacteria in their claws. How does it fit into all the different parts of the Gemara? I'm not exactly sure. Some of them are more difficult than others. We'll see. There's a sugya that says that the animal, soon we will have, that the venom only goes in when he pulls his claws out. So if it's bacteria, what's the difference in and out? So you could explain that as he pulls it out, he kind of tears it, so that's when the bacteria gets into the animal. How does the venom, how's the bacteria, how is it visible on a door? Like the Gemara is going to say soon. You could actually see it on the door. 5 spots on the door. It could all be explained.
He explains the bacteria.
Who's he?
Rabbi Kama. He was the Mechadish.
Okay. By the way, I looked it up on Google. This cat scratch. Fever, and I saw the Tmuna Chol today. The Tmuna Chol actually brings the word cat scratch, so it wasn't just. Yeah, Baruch Shekivanti the Tmuna Chol.
Rabbi's kind of idea was that when the animal is an animal of prey and they dig their claws into the meat, some of the meat sticks to the claw, and then.
Not necessarily. I think what he means is that when they walk on the street, because these are wild animals, they walk. They're always stepping in all sorts of disgusting things that create.
Talking about the meat itself decaying.
Yeah.
And going into bacteria, and that stays on the claw.
Right, but you don't even have to come onto that, even if you didn't.
It goes into the next.
It goes into the next one. But you don't need that. Look at the cats. They walk around in garbage. They walk around the feces. They walk around this, and they have a lot of bacteria.
The clothes are retracted.
They are retracted. That's why. We have to understand how it works. Midas, shaloi midas, all these things that we're going to see today.
Liquid inside the claws.
Why biyad, not beregel. Maybe the back claws are not as retractable. They don't work. I don't know. Well, let's see.
Checks and go in. It's like a little saliva that helps them get in and out. Turns with the germs.
I don't know. Okay. Listen, there's also another very important thing to understand that a snake's venom, if a snake bites an animal, it doesn't create a treifa. Why? It kills an animal. It's a big yesod in treifa. Treifa means that a part of the animal is missing. And we're talking about poison that attacks one aver of the animal and will create a hole in that aver. But venom, what? Yeah, we go with Rashi. Yeah. But the new guy. But Beis Hashem, he's not going to be here tomorrow. He's going to be.
We're meeting in an alleyway.
Fine, but it's interesting. So explain how come a snake's venom doesn't work? Because a snake's venom, l'chayra, does kill an animal. Some service says there's an antidote to it. Won't necessarily kill him. But you see this aside that, the animal will die. For instance, what about leukemia versus, if an animal has leukemia, is that a treifa? We'll kill the animal. Within a year, it'll die. Is that considered a treifa? It could be it's not, because it didn't take away from it's a blood disease and didn't take away from an aver. Maybe. Whereas another tumor does take away from it. You have to know.
So why is it
Let's see the
normal?
sugi
Why do you have to
inside.
say- If you say snake bite, it's not good. So how come a lion claw?
Oh, because the lion claw takes away, it eats at the aver. That's the point there. That we're not talking about a venom, we're talking about a poison, a bacteria.
An answer we give later to that question is that if it's curable, then it doesn't matter. So since
Snake bites, they have anti. Right, that's what I said. The Chassam Sofer says, yeah.
There's a Gemara later,
Yeah.
anything that heals afterwards by putting.
And antibiotics help against the clawing, maybe.
I was going to say, if you've got a certain potion, you can put on
Okay.
it and it heals it. That doesn't make it perfect.
Beseder. We also have Yisoid. We don't go. First of all, not only do we not look in Taisvas, but we also don't go to Daf ahead. We're not allowed. That's also one of the things that we don't do. Amar Rav Chizda. Jerusalem's chatul unemio, we said, is like a mongoose. They have it here in Eretz Yisrael today. Bigdoim utloim. And Rashi later on says on Nugem Alamad Aleph, we're talking about very small gdoim utloim, meaning smaller than the chatul. It seems like Jerusa is chulda ba'oivos. And when it comes to a weasel, the weasel could create this venom, this poison in a bird. Some say it's not the typical chulda of all of Shas. It's a larger animal, ayin sham. Meisvei. Jerusa's chatul nates unemia. So it says that a cat, a nates, is like a hawk or a falcon, unemia, and a mongoose. Achitinokev lecholol. It doesn't create, over here it says in the Brisa that it doesn't create poison. It has to get into the inside of the animal to create a nekev, and then it will trafe it up as a nekev. Aval Jerusa leslahu. So it says mufurish that a cat doesn't have the ability to inject poison into an animal. V'tizbro, how are you going to explain nates? V'tizbro nates like daris vasnan. It says mufurish in the Mishnah u'Jerusas hanates. That a nates does have the ability to kill just with its claws. Says the Gemara, okay, yes, a nates in the Mishnah is talking about that it clawed another bird. So another bird has enough power in its venom to kill it, but not to kill an animal. Rav Chizda says that a chatul has poison, and in the Brisa it says it doesn't have poison. So what do we do? Says the Gemara, anytime the Gemara says beribi, so Rashi says two pshat, one. On the side he says brings the other one. Ribi, either it's a name of a chacham or it means a galadar. Loi amru ein drusa ela b'mokim she'ein matzilim. There's a difference. He says there's a difference between in a situation where you're trying to save your animal, then that mamish gets the attacker gets really mad, and then he injects venom. When you're trying to save the animal, then he gets really upset. He tries to kill it quicker, and he injects venom. So Rav Chizda was talking about a place that there was a matzil, and therefore there's venom. And when you have a brayso that says that there's no venom, there's no matzil. When I read, like watching a Tom and Jerry episode, it's like it sounds like a cartoon. There was a cat chasing a chicken. And went into this room, and he slammed the door shut in its face. And then it smashed. The cat was in the middle of chasing it, and boom, the door smashed, and he hit the door, and his claws went on the door, and then slowly went, like he went down, and he left 5 drops of poison on the door. So it's like 5 drops of this poison. So what do you see? You see that even though a person wasn't trying to save it, he slammed the door in front of it, but that the chicken did, there's still poison. Says the Gemara, if the chicken is running away, great. But since the chicken tried to save itself by slamming the door shut, then he got really mad and then he injected the poison. But what Rabbanan over here and say that it doesn't, that the cat cannot kill with the poison, but over here you see that there was poison. Says the Gemara, Ziara Islay Veloi Kali Ziare. There is poison, but not enough to kill an animal. Ikidamre, some say differently. The Rav Chizda holds really that a cat always is doiris. Even if nobody's matzel from it, it always injects poison. Homani beribihi. Who's mechulik? Who's this brisa that says that there's no poison? It's beribi. The same beribi yoyim elayomer yesh Jerusalem magam sheish matzilin. Magam sheish matzilin ain't Jerusalem. Not a nafkamin in Rav Chizda himself, but a machloik is between Rav Chizda and beribi. The brisa that we have a steer to Rav Chizda is somebody else called beribi. The same story. That's all. When we have a stereo between Rav Chizda and the brisa, Rav Chizda holds there is poison, regardless if somebody's trying to save the animal or not. A cat always injects venom. The brisa that says that a cat doesn't inject venom until it gets to the innards of the animal, that's because that's going according to Beribi, that holds that a cat, that there's enough kamina between matzilim and not matzilim. So now we're holding on today's daf.
It's not strong enough to measure the cat's poison. Depends on the size of the animal.
No, the Gemara says it depends whether you're trying to save the animal. If you're trying to save the animal, then the cat injects poison according to Beribi. If not, not. That's something else. That's later on. We're going to see later on. Kahana asks Rav, Yesh drusel lechatul or ain't drusel lechatul? What's the halacha? Does a cat inject venom or not? Omalei af lechuldo yesh drusa. So it's very cryptic, the lashon here. It's almost like a riddle. He asked him, does a cat have venom? So he says, even a weasel has venom. Then he asked him, Yesh drusel lechuldo or ain't drusel lechuldo? Does a weasel have venom or not? Omalei af lechatul ain't drusa. Even a cat doesn't have venom. It's mamish contradiction. Then he says, "Lechatul u'chuda yesh lahem drusa." What about both of them? Do they have venom or yen lahem drusa? Amalei lechatul yesh drusa, lechulda ain't drusa. What is going on here? Veloy kashya. Says the Gemara. I'll explain to you. Very simple. Hoda amalei af lechulda. Tosfos has a beautiful pshat here. We'll see in Tosfos inside, but let's read the Gemara. Veloy kashya. Hoda amalei af lechulda yesh drusa ba'ifos. When he said that even a weasel has venom, it's talking about when a weasel tries to get a bird, like the Gemara said in the beginning, what we learned tonight, all the way in the beginning, the first line. When he said even a cat does not have venom, we're talking about larger animals. Like that also fits in what we learned before, that a cat can only put venom into a small little goat, that's his size, is smaller. A cat has enough venom for a gdi, but not a weasel. So look in Tosfos for a beautiful pshat here. Dafnum Gimel on Yesh Drusa, the first Tosfos on top, and he says smack in the middle. Void Yesh Lefarish. The Kol Hanachav B'Machas. What's going on? It wasn't like a riddle. It was all Rav Kana asking Rav in one shot. Batchilo she'elo Yesh Drusa lechatul elav. First, Rav Kana asked Rav, does a cat have venom? Amalei. Ata shoyel stam. You're stam asking. Yesh dov shaf lechulda yesh drusa. Why are you asking me about a cat? Even a smaller animal like a chulda has venom. So on the spot, Rav Kahana asked him, "Vada bay minei im lechulda yesh drusa b'chol makom." You're telling me that even a weasel has venom? What, in every situation, even if it attacks a bull? Amalei af lechatul bam shein drusa. No, even a cat that's larger than a weasel sometimes doesn't have. So therefore he asked him, so you tell me that a cat sometimes has and something doesn't, and a chulda sometimes has and something doesn't. So maybe shavim hemilai. So maybe they're both equal, identical. At the end of the day, no, they're not equal. There's an animal, such as a small goat, that a cat does have venom for it, and a weasel does not have venom. But it all came. There were questions asked one after another, and that's why it makes sense. Boira Papa. Oh, Boira Papa. Where's this? Yeah. You have Boira Papa. Boira Vashi. Sorry, Boira Vashi. Sha'aroi is tmeim if you have a non-kosher bird. So it seemed like that maybe why these birds are not kosher is because in their nature, they what's the word? Claw, but no, they're birds of prey. Very good. The birds of prey. So birds of prey are tamei. And now the question is, Does this tumah does it mean that they also have the ability to kill with their claws? Yeshlam drusa, eilam drusa. Because the Mishnah only mentions a nate, which he says is a hawk, and a gas. And there's a question if gas means a large bird or it's a type of a bird called a falcon. But at any rate, what about other birds? What about, I don't know, what are those called? Flamingo. Does its claw kill other birds? Yes, any tummy bird, its claws kill. It says mufurish in the Mishnah that it seems like only the nates in a smaller bird. Says the Gemara, you're right. Udrusas hanates b'tekavosei. When the Mishnah talks about a nate, a hawk, when it's its size, ve'inach b'dezutruminayu. The difference is that the nate has the ability to kill something as large as itself, whereas another non-kosher bird only has the ability to claw a bird that's smaller than it. Ve'gedamri drusas hanates the ravreminei. A nate, a hawk, could kill a bird that's larger than it. And all other birds could only kill birds that are their size and smaller. So let me ask you a question. If a hawk could kill a bird that's larger than it, how about a very, very, very large bird? Could a nate kill an eagle, an American eagle, with its claws?
Man, I think we kill American eagle.
So the answer is that the Mishnah says mufurish, hanate boifadak. Only a small bird, like a pigeon. But a nate does not have the ability to kill a chicken. But it could kill a pigeon that's larger than it. That's what the Gemara is saying. It has to be oifadak. Dafka oifadak, says Rashi. But oifadak that's larger than it. If you have a very small hawk, a baby hawk, or there's other breeds of hawks that are smaller than a pigeon, and you have a very large pigeon, it could still kill it. But it doesn't have the ability to kill a turkey. A fox doesn't have the claws to kill. We're going to have the same story twice in a different girsa, but there's a story where a fox came and with its claws it killed a sheep in the bathhouse in Beisini. And they said, yes, and it does have the ability to kill. No, you have to scratch the word shual and put in chatul. He said, no, there is. The fox does have the ability to kill. Chacham said there is no drusa by a shul. It was a dog, but a shul does have. Shaila, how you guys here? Either a shul doesn't have the ability or it does have the ability. Rav Yosef, naktinon ein drusa lekelev. Lalacha, a dog doesn't have the claws to kill. Doesn't have that venom, doesn't have that poison, doesn't have the bacteria, whatever you want to call it. Amar Abaya, naktinon, and here comes a series of halachas when it comes to claws. First of all, ein drusa el beyad. So this you have to understand. If it's bacteria, how come the hind leg doesn't have bacteria and the foreleg does have bacteria? Unless it's a way that it doesn't tear open as much. Like the foreleg, that's how they go with their paws and they rip with their front, not with their back as much. I could understand that. I watched a lot of those African jungle things. That's how it's more, yeah. The back is just to hold on. They don't really rip open with the back. So maybe, and that will fit with the rest of the stuff. Ein drusa ela b'tziporin. Lapuke loy. As we said before, only the poison, not teeth. It's not the venom from the teeth. It's not bacteria from the teeth.
Eli, what is this animal? Like, it's a cat?
Every animal, all these animals. It's a cat. It's a shul. It's a. Oh, you missed the whole beginning of this year.
Is the cat really large?
I in YouTube. I in the YouTube sham.
I need a reminder. better question. What does that have to do with anything?
How do you know it's better? How do you know your question is better than his? Why?
Because that's what it sounds like.
Why is that so bad? We're saying it has to be a certain way. It has to be from his foreleg. It has to be like this. It has to be like that. It can't be his tooth. Ain't Drusel Medas. It's only if the animal intends to inject the poison.
But how do you know what the animal's intending to do?
Because if it fell off a roof and then landed on an animal, if a cat fell, you threw a cat off your porch and landed on your sheep, it's not treif because it didn't intend to claw it. It intended to land, to attack. It has to want to attack. Look inside. Look, you'll see. Ain't druso elo mechayim. It has to be alive. Again, if you know how cats work, I'm not very familiar. Besides that one time that a kid in shul, when I was a kid, took a cat and clawed my face with it. And another adult saw it and came whack. Those days it was mutter to hit other kids. But when you see,
only happened to you those days.
I'm still here. All my stories have witnesses. I had this one story that I fell into a sewer in the bungalow colony, and the lid of the sewer fell down on me, and I was with Simcha Sassim's brother, and I disappeared. He didn't know. Like I opened up the lid, and he looked around, and all of a sudden I wasn't there anymore because the sewer covered me, and I was in the sewer. And the whole maisa, and then finally, like somebody flushed the toilet, and the pressure made me go upwards. I hit. Nachman Seltzer wrote in one of his books, it's called like The Power of a Flush or something. And I hit. My head hit the wood, and I saw his feet, and I screamed, "Hey!" And he realized I was in there, and he went and he called my father. My father pulled me out, and pulled me out. I go, "Hey, my yarmulke's inside." He goes, "Michael, that my yarmulke we don't need anymore." So nobody believed me. And then one day, Reb Shmuel Brazil, the Rosh Shiva, guy from Regis, she comes to Chicago, and he goes, "Stefansky, you're the guy that fell into the sewer with this." It's like, So if that mice is true, then all the mice is. Okay, anyways. But the cat's paws are completely concealed. You don't see them before.
Watching YouTube knows of the story.
We don't need any more witnesses. We have. It's
I
enough.
don't think a cat was this. A lynx, or was it just like a little?
Where? In the shul that hurt me?
No, you're talking about here.
No, this is regular cat. Regular cat.
Regular cat.
We're talking a lot about cats.
Yeah, it's very important, cats. Now, cats' claws, you don't see them at all. Like they walk in the street, it looks like they don't have claws. But when they want to attack, midas, then they just all come out.
They come out. They're in and out.
Yeah. So Zog the Gemara. Ein drusa lemachayim, only when it's alive. La puki lachar misa deloy. So now the Gemara asks the obvious question. It seems like redundant. Amri hashash shloi midas amris loy lachar misa v'boy. You just said a second ago that the cat has to have in mind to attack. It has to be in attack mode. So certainly after it's dead, it's not in attack mode. So why are you telling me this? It says Gemara like tzricha de doris upaskuli yodei. Very interesting case. There was a lion that attacked, and he's in the middle of attacking. So comes the owner of the animal, wants to save his cow. He takes a machete and chops the lion's hand off, and leaves the hand on the animal with the claws and everything. When I say misa, I don't mean that the lion died. I meant his hand died. In that case, that the hand died, so we don't consider it poison. It's not poison. Mao the same about they the dorish, and here's a big chiddush. You hear this? This is a big chiddush to you. Mao the same about they the dorish shadi zero. I would think that it injects the venom when it's attacking, when the paws go into the animal. Komash malon about they the shadi zero. That's why I give you a case of him chopping off the hand. It's different than shaloi midas. Over I'm saying it was midas. The attack was midas, but the pulling out the paw, the claws have to be midas, because that's when the bacteria happens. That's when the venom happens. Could be explained.
So
I understand it 100%. What?
If it's falling, it's not nafkamina. It's when it comes out of the animal that it's attacking, then nafkamina. So I don't care how it falls. If it's falling or not falling.
Yeah, but maybe it doesn't push it out completely.
If it falls, it's not in mind to do that.
Here it says the action is when he pulls the hand out.
So then it's not going to do falling.
I hear.
Well, the
Now
interesting
look.
thing is the Komodo dragon. If
Oh,
if
Komodo
they bite
dragon.
a person,
Yeah.
whatever animal they bite eventually dies. They follow it around until it's dead.
They
Basically,
follow it around.
Well, they hang on to the dies. The dies from the bacteria of the stuff that's on its.
Oh, so it has nothing to do with following it.
No, I'm just saying that you see.
What about the
once there-
screen? Slow battery? Oy vey. That's going to be a problem. How much do we have? We got to finish here quickly.
Where's the plug?
Okay, let's look at Taisus real quickly. Interesting Taisus. Taisus says over here on Komash Malon the Ba'adid is Shadi Ziyara. We just learned that the venom comes out when you pull the claw out. So says Taisus, Yesha Toim Lahati Lishchot Kishaneit Shoichev Al Gabi Oy Veloi Heiser Raglev Adayin. What if you find like a eagle attacking your chicken, and you wanna make sure that he doesn't pull his claw out, because once he flies away. That's when. So you grab the chicken with the eagle and you shak real quickly, and the eagle doesn't have the chance to pull his claw out. So it's tells you that's a mistake.
Why? Because when they pulled it.
Why? I'm saying this Taisus because we need it later for a Geschmack Bach. It says over here that it's a very, very big yisoid. It's pashut. When an animal attacks another animal, it doesn't usually get it on the first shot. It grabs, the other animal jumps away, it grabs again. So when you see its claws in there, unless you saw that this is the first time it injected the poison, you don't know. It might be the third time that it injected poison, and it's out. Fine. Says the Gemara. Omer Rav Barav and Omer Rav. Then you complain to me. Omer Rav Barav and Omer Rav. Ari shenichnas lebein hashvarim v'nimtzas tziporim begabi shel echad mem. You have a lion that goes into a whole lul of no. So this is shvarim. He went into a pen. He went into a pen of bulls, and you find one claw on his back. So what happened there? We have to know what happened. What are the possibilities? Either he was in the middle of attacking him and he injected venom, or maybe he rubbed his back on the wall.
He wanted a massage. So
It was back on the wall and had some.
Says the Gemara, we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to be choishish for it. My taima, roy varoy is darson, umiyot ain't darson. Not every single lion attacks. Like we're going to see soon. There's some tame lions. V'chol adoires ain't tziporin ishmetes. Now, says Rashi, almost seems from Rashi, it never happens. It's a very strong lashon in Rashi. Hard to understand. It never happens, says Rashi. So, kids, we have a svek here. It's not necessarily so that every single time a lion attacks. And even if he attacks, it hardly ever happens that his nail comes out, breaks off. So Memela, we're going to assume a very far out thing that maybe there was a claw in the wall, and when the bull was itchy and it itched itself on the wall, the claw came in, because the other side is even further fetched. Says Gemara Adarabba Roishvar Mechatchin Umiyuton E Mechatchin. There is a miyot that doesn't scratch themselves on the wall. And not every single time is it going to happen that a claw on the wall is going to end its way up in the guy's back. Maybe there's a very strong likelihood that the claw actually happened from a drisa. You see the line there, it makes a lot of sense. Why say that he scratched himself on the wall and he got a claw like that? Says the Gemara, they're both hard to understand. So there's a chazak here. Haveli Sofik Druso, V'Rav Tamei, the Omer Ein Choshesh in the Sofik Druso. So the Bach asks a very interesting question here. He says you find a nail on a bull. We just finished saying that the only time the venom goes into the bull is when he removes his paw. He removes the nail, but the nail's still in him. So why is there venom? There's no venom. How did the venom get into the animal? What's the problem?
He pulled out his claw.
He pulled out nothing. He pulled out his hand, but the claw is still in there. It says when you pull out the claw.
The rest of the is 5
Oh, that's what I was thinking. The rest of the hand, I mean, he has 5, so 4 went out, and I'm not exactly sure about his kasha. And then he says that then he pulls up. Then he says Taisvis's teretz that every time, and it's, again, those who watch YouTube Chas Shalom on the jungle stuff, you see the lion he grabs the animal, but then the animal gets away, and then he comes from the other side, and he comes. By the time he he loses his claw, he got the animal 20 times. He jumps on his back, then this is where they get them. This is how they usually kill them, from the throat. But he doesn't get to the throat right away. Jumps on his back, and then he finally makes it to that. Fine. Zog the Gemara. Oma Bayo. Lo yamorin el tziporin. This whole thing about clawing and venom, and it's all with the claw. Avol mokim tziporin choshishim. This I love that we just said, that if there's a claw on the back of the animal, we're not choishish that it was a drusa. Maybe he scratched himself on the wall. But if you see a paw mark, the whole paw, all 5 fingers, you see like an indentation on his back of a paw, then you know that he got attacked. Only if it was a moist claw. So then we won't say this whole svar that maybe he rubbed his back on the wall. If it was dry, that's very likely that he lost a dry claw, and memela it's a treifa. If he left in the animal 2 or 3 nails, then we have to say that he for sure got attacked by a lion. He didn't get 2 or 3 nails on a wall. If they're in line like they are on the lion's paw, 1, 2, 3, not like out of order, then you understand that he got attacked. Itmar.
They're spread out, not.
If they're not in the right way, yeah. Itmar Rab Omar ein choishin l'sofek drusa. Ushmuel Omar choishin l'sofek drusa. Shmuel says that you are choishish for a sofek. Taisus learns over here that Shmuel says that it's more mistaber that the lion attacked. When it comes to choishish in l'sofek drusa, meaning there's more of a likelihood. What's more likely? It's more likely the lion attacked. And therefore what? So what if you choshesh l'savik drusa? So now that you shechted the animal, you have to check the innards. You have to see what's going on. Was there a drusa or not? Says the Gemara like this. Where's the machlokes between Rav and Shmuel when you say, do you say safek or not safek? The kula alma safek all safek loyal. If you don't even know if the lion got in there, aim loyal. So let's assume he didn't get in there. Safek halba, what?
Sorry. What can he be boiling after the shchita?
You'll see redness.
It where?
At this, we're going to see soon. There's going to be a sugya about where you check and how you check. You're checking for red to see if the venom got in there, if the poison got. You don't. Sometimes you don't even know where it was, but you open up the whole inside and you check. You see some sort of red inflammation, whatever you want to call it.
Shifting the animal 5 minutes after his attack.
No, but you'll look for claw marks. You look for claw marks, you look for inflammation where he attacked him.
Safek kalba, safek shura. If you weren't sure if it was even a cat, it might have been a dog, and when we said a dog is not a problem, ema kalba, let's assume it was a dog. All shasik v'itu benayu. If the lion got in there and he's quiet, he's calm. Eimar shlomo shavi. Maybe he's a peaceful lion. Says Rashi, asa shalom imayim kederach kama chayos shenasis tarbus. You could tame an animal sometimes. Ugdelos im bnei adam, and they grow up with humans. Ubehemois. And animals. Be'emazikim. You see them in the circus sometimes. So in Mela there is a concept, says Rashi, that a lion is calm and he won't attack. We're normally well fed. Normally, though, they do attack.
Right.
If he already was able to chop off one of the heads, so he's calm. He's not upset anymore. It's interesting. The last Rashi on this page, Rashi goes through all the sounds animals make. He says this one makes this sound, and a dog makes charitza. It's called loyechra. It's called shoyna, and this one makes that. Anyways, a lion roars and a cow moos, and if they're all doing their moos and they're roaring together, it's a choir. Then they're all scared of each other. Kipligi. So then, where is the machlokes? All these cases are not a machlokes. Where is the machlokes? The lion is calm and the cows are going crazy. So he holds that what that he did something to the animal, and that's why they're going crazy. The shaila is, why are they screaming? Are they scared or they already got injured? At the end of the day, we paskin like Shmuel that we have to be scared of Safek Drusa. Choshen Safek Drusa. Omar le Rav Ashila Meimar had Rav Mai. What, you're just going to ignore Rav? Usually we paskin like Rav Yisr, and all of a sudden over here we're going like Shmuel. Omar le Shmueli. I don't know. I didn't hear about it. Some people say that this is the Rabbanan Savroi that injected into the Gemara because it doesn't really flow so well. He should have said, "Lo Svirli." I don't. Lo Shmueli, Koloimar lo Svirli. It's not such a good. It's not a typical lashon of a Gemara that a person would say that. Could be somebody else is explaining. Koloimar, like a Rishon is writing on the side of his Gemara. Koloimar lo Svirli. Fine. V'boiseima hadabei Rav legabi the Shmuel. Some people say no, Rav, the reason why the halach is like Shmuel is because Rav agreed to Shmuel that you have to be choishish for Drusa. Why? The ha'ushar kafa, the savik Drusa is the asal kamei the Rav. There's a whole basket full of small birds that came to Rav, and there was a savik Drusa. Why? Because they found a hawk sitting in between them. That was that story. Now I chap that there is such a muslim. When I was in yeshiva in Tifrach, that they found that mongoose there's thousands of chickens in a lul. How do you say lul in English? A pen, chicken coop. And they found a mongoose inside, and there's a bunch of dead chickens. Now what? Maybe he got everybody. Each one has a suffix. Like, where does Shaila come from? Here's the Shaila. You have a nate sitting in a basket with other birds. Maybe they're all a treif. Maybe he got their claws in them. So Rav didn't paskin. Shadrinu l'kamei made the Shmuel. He said, "Go ask Shmuel." Very interesting halacha. What does Shmuel do? Chankinu ushadinu benara. He choked them and threw them into the river. The Gemara is going to explain why he did that. Why do you have to come on to that? Now, but the proof is, and if Rav didn't agree to Shmuel, l'shrinu. So how come he didn't say it's mutter? I hold it's mutter, finished. I'm not choishish for drusa. They're all mutter. Why did he send to Shmuel? Obviously, he agrees to Shmuel. Now Rashi asked the question, why didn't they just shech them and check them? If you could check a bird, open them up. So Rashi says a few two ritzim, and he says, I like the second teretz most, that a nates you can't check after the animal's dead and you open up the bird, its venom is so small you won't be able to tell that it was injected with venom. So Mela, there's no bdika. Other teretz says that we're choishish that a person is going to make a mistake. They're so small and there's so many birds that they're going to take one bird by mistake and sell it without checking or whatever. Zog the Gemara, Elo mai, Haderbei. So you're telling me from the fact that he told the guy, go to Shmuel, ask Shmuel, I don't know what the halacha is here. So he agrees with Shmuel that you have to be choishish for Drusa. So that's the Gemara L'srinu. So then why send them to Shmuel? You already agreed to Shmuel. Say the halacha is that they're also. Elo asked the Shmuel have, you have to say that this was in the city, the town of Shmuel, and it's not derech eretz to paskin in front of Shmuel. And Memela, there's no raya from here. Maybe he didn't admit it. Maybe he didn't agree to Shmuel. He just said go to Shmuel because it was his place. Ask the Gemara, why do you have to choke them? Throw them into the water. Says the Gemara, they could pop out of the water, and then another hunter will come along and catch this bird, not knowing that this is a suffix treifa, and he's going to sell the bird to somebody with a suffix treifa. So just let it sit around for 12 months. We said that any treifa that lives for 12 months, that's a good test to see that it's not a treifa. There's too many of these little birds. There might come a problem. You might misplace one, and somebody's going to eat a suffix drusa. Sell it to the goyim. Also, there's been in Israel. You never know. They might resell it to the Jew, and it's a problem. So choke it and throw it into the garbage. Why are you throwing it into the river? According to you, that you want me to throw it into the garbage can, I have a better idea. Why don't you make some use out of it? Feed it to the dogs. At least you'll have some profit from it. The reason why he choked it was because I don't want it takal. The reason why I threw it into the river, you see Shmuel carrying all these birds all the way to the river, and people are going to say, what's going on here? Why is he carrying birds to the river? And they throw a whole process, a whole production, then people are going to know Safek Drusa is Asur. Now, the Shita Mekubetza says on the spot, that it happens to be that Shmuel had to pay for these. Just because he wanted to make a big show out of it doesn't mean that that guy has to lose and not be able to feed it to his dogs. So maybe Shmuel had to pay him whatever that the value of those the dog food is.
The difference between what he would have got.
Right. Whatever the difference between a dog food, which is not that much, and nothing.
He lost the mitzvah of throwing treifas to the dogs too.
It's a mitzvah. Interesting. It's a mitzvah.
Treifas.
I guess. Okay. There was a duck. Ola ben Kanya. We had this story, not the whole story. We had part of it, I think. If I'm not mistaken. There's a duck that somebody look up on Daf Yomi Beis with Rav and Rav Yosef. This is the story. Good. Ola ben Kanya. So there was a duck that went between the reeds. Novak also kimimasmes koyedama. He came out and his neck was red, full of blood. Omar Rav Ashi lo yamin in sovek kalba sovek shunro emer kalba. Now, Rav Ashi said, we just said if you have a shiloh, whether it was a dog or a cat that attacked, let's say it's a dog and the dog doesn't have venom, hachanami sovek kayin sovek shunro. We don't know how the blood got to his neck. He might have got caught on a reed, or he might have got caught by a cat. So let's just take the easy way out and say that he got caught by the reed. This drusa. So Rashi says that this drusa is even a drusa that we saw, not a savik drusa, but we saw specifically that it got clawed. Just we don't know where it is. What you do is you open up the animal and you check all the innards to see that they are intact, that the venom didn't go towards them. Even if they are intact, but this venom, this poison going towards them is still a treifa, because eventually it's going to hit there, and that would make it a treifa.
There's no red mark.
No red marks, because if there's red marks next to one of the intestines or anything like that, that intestine is treif b'mashu. Eventually, that red mark is going to travel and get there, and that's a treifa. Just because you killed it before it got there, doesn't save it from being a treifa. Omar Rav Yosef, this halach that Rav Chia said, we already know from Shmuel, and because the Gemara says this, I already know this. So the Gemara is going to say another 4 things that I already know this. Now, you have to check it by its innards. Question: yes, Jerusalem simonim. What if the cat or the lion attacked it over here, right where the simonim? Oh, yeah, Jerusalem simonim. Maybe the Gemara's question is because he said yesterday, the other day, the Gemara asked if there is. What did the Gemara ask? And by simonim, we said simonim are stronger. Anybody remember?
When it fell.
Oh, right. Very good. Thank you. When is there? The Gemara asked, is there a nefula by simonim? And the Gemara says, no, simonim are very strong. Thank you. And now the Gemara is asking, is there a drusa by simonim? Maybe simonim inherently are stronger than the rest of the Ivarim, and Mamela could withstand venom. Says the Gemara, Omer B'Zeir Hadabayi Ilfo Kfar Pesher of Chanam by Rava. So here's another case of, I already told you this. I said so already. The Omer of Chanam by Rava, Omer Rav Drusa Shamru Tzricha B'Diga Keneg Beis HaCholok Kuloi, meaning in the entire innards, but not like, let's say in its legs, or in the fat part of its neck over here, just over here, maybe, the Gemara says, and I have to check by the simonim, this part, but not by its neck and not by its